Time is running low for a number of our players here in Season 2 of our realistic Borussia Dortmund career mode. A fact that Giovanni Reina seems to be well aware of as he drops by our office and asks for one final opportunity to prove himself here at the club. Reina is currently on an expiring contract and we are undecided as to whether we are going to renew it or not. The same goes for Sally Özcan, Pascal Gross. Alexander Meyer is very likely to leave the club, but Niklas Söller also playing for his Dortmund career. So each of those players will get one final opportunity to prove that they belong at Borussia Dortmund before the opening of the January transfer window. And if not, we'll have to start thinking about their replacements. And I did ask for your transfer suggestions ahead of the opening of the January window at the end of the last episode, but I will ask again here. I don't have a particular player profile or even position in mind. I'm looking primarily at right midfielders at the moment. However, I'm open to any and all suggestions. If you think there's somebody that fits our style of play, that fits our squad, then drop their names in the comments below. And potentially that visit from Giovanni Reina was prompted by the transfer rumours regarding his potential replacement, but he will have an opportunity to prove his worth immediately in today's episode. We're taking on Frankfurt in the DFB Pokal to begin the episode. I'll show you highlights of that game, as well as our only Champions League fixture this month against Lazio. We'll be quick simming games against Freiburg and against Darmstadt in the Bundesliga, which leaves our trip to RB Leipzig as the featured game. And it's beginning to look as though the DFB Pokal is going to be our only opportunity to win a trophy this season, but we are forced to start a rotated 11 for this one. Niklas Söller and Soumaila Coulibaly each coming into the back four. Giovanni Reina joining Merlin Röhrl in behind Guirassy up front as well. Giovanni Reina actually had a really good game. He combined with Merlin Röhrl off the throw-in to find Guirassy in the box to score a header for a second consecutive episode, would you believe it? And it was Reina who got the direct assist for Guirassy's second goal of the game as he burst through and beat the keeper to make it 2. However, a frantic opening 20 minutes culminated in Frankfurt pulling one back through former club legend Mario Götze with an unbelievable goal. And Frankfurt almost scored a second worldie in the second half. Hugo Ekitike with a bicycle kick from outside the box. Fortunately, that went wide. Unfortunately, so did the shot from youngster Daniel Buzzko in the dying moments of the game. However, we would avoid the upset and progress with a 2-1 victory. Not every club in the Bundesliga was able to avoid an upset though. Mönchengladbach knocked by Leverkusen out on penalties, and Bayern Munich were knocked out by Hertha Berlin of all teams. Whilst Giovanni Reina played decently well and is happy he was given a chance, whether or not he stays beyond January is still very much yet to be seen. Niklas Söller, however, continues to disappoint, and how much longer he's going to be a Dortmund player again is yet to be seen. But with the likes of Soumaila Coulibaly and David Wilhelmsson waiting in the wings, his future doesn't look bright. That would, however, leave us short at centre-back with only Anton and Schlotterbeck as true starters. So we may need to look to bring in a centre-back in January, as well as potentially a right midfielder. Today's video is sponsored by Enigma Football, the UK's leading supplier of football shirt mystery boxes. Whether you're looking for a fun way to expand your own football shirt collection, or you're looking for a unique gift for the diehard football fan in your life, Enigma Football have got you covered. Their mystery boxes start at just $34.99, which is almost half the standard retail price, and you can be 100% sure that their shirts are authentic, because they get them straight from the clubs and manufacturers themselves. And you can reduce that price even further by using code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. That code applies to any single football shirt mystery box, and it also applies to the first month of any mystery box subscription package, where you receive a fresh new shirt on your doorstep every single month. You can be sure you'll get a shirt that you like too. You can ask Enigma Football to send you a shirt from a specific league with a specific color or pattern, or to avoid certain teams, and if you still don't like what they send, you have 60 days to either return or exchange it. So head over to Enigma Football and place your order today. The link is in the description, and be sure to use code LAMBZY at the checkout for 10% off your first order. Shout out to Enigma Football for sponsoring the video and for hooking me up with a couple of shirts, including a Dortmund shirt for this series. Now let's get back to the video. So the likes of Söller and Reina won't get an opportunity to prove themselves here in our second game against Freiburg, but we may well see them come off the bench and we come away with the victory at the very least. Pascal Gross comes on, Merlin Röhrl comes on, but it's Jamie Gittins, it's Julian Brandt with a brace, and it's Yusufa Mukoko who grabbed the goals to secure a more than comfortable victory. And with Serla coming to visit us for a second time to complain about his lack of game time, I think the writing is on the wall. I think he's going to be out in January. We just can't justify playing him. Things are looking a lot rosier for us at the beginning of today's episode. We're coming off 5 games without a win in the last episode, and managing to get 2 back-to-back with a chance to make it 3 feels like we're starting to turn things around. And it's not a moment too soon. We're not in great shape in the Champions League, all the way down in 16th in the table with 3 games left to play to try and secure qualification to the knockout stages. But we have a very winnable game here against Lazio and a very strong 11 out there to try and get us the result that we're looking for. Lazio proved much tougher opposition than perhaps we gave them credit for, though. This effort from Guarassi, the closest we came to scoring in the first half. And after the break, it was Lazio themselves who took the lead. Anton lunging in, missing the challenge, leaving space in behind for the striker to finish. And from there, although we continued to dominate the game, we just couldn't find the back of the net. And Lazio would somehow do enough to hold on to that narrow 1-0 victory. And that defeat sees us drop down to 18th in the table, but there are several teams below us, our Bundesliga rivals, Bayern Munich included, who have currently only played 5 games. And to add to the bad news, Jan Couto suffered a sprained knee against Lazio, and he's going to be out for the next month. And although it's not a particularly long-term injury, it is a particularly awkward one. Couto is one of the few players we don't really have a ready-made replacement for. And although Julian Ryerson will of course be happy to step into the starting 11, he's a very different type of player from Jan Couto with a very different skill set. But we'll be relying on Ryerson along with the rest of the squad to keep the likes of Openda and Szczesgo quiet as we take on RB Leipzig in our featured game of today's episode. So without further ado, let's head over to Red Bull Arena and see if we can close the gap between ourselves and 3rd place Leipzig. So a very interesting RB Leipzig lineup featuring 3 big new signings from the Premier League in Rico Lewis and Sven Botman at the back, and Dominik Szoboszlai returns from Liverpool to Leipzig. Very, very interesting transfers. We have had to make a handful of interesting decisions in our own lineup. Some forced upon us through injury. Ryerson, for example, starting at right back today. But accompanying him on that right flank is going to be Giovanni Reina, who tries to slip Ryerson in behind. And this is going to be the downside of playing those two on that right flank today, is a lack of pace. We're used to having an abundance of pace on the right side. Well, on both wings, to be fair, but particularly on the right, with Karim Adeyemi often linking up with Jan Couto. That's well won by Marcel Sabitzer. But with both Reina and Ryerson, we're going to be lacking in that department today. We have adjusted our tactics slightly, just tweaked them to account for the, as Ryerson drifts offside, to account for the different player profiles we've got on the right today. But Giovanni Reina looking to prove that he belongs at Dortmund beyond January. He had a decent game earlier in the episode, combining with Merlin Rell to set up the first goal and then getting the assist himself for the second. Certainly an impressive performance there, and if it's another impressive performance here, then potentially we could see him stay. I'm open to Giovanni Reina staying. And at the moment, I'm thinking maybe we give him a 1-year extension. As Schlotterbeck does well to stop the cross initially. Kivior gets back out there. Rico Lewis venturing very far forwards for RB Leipzig. And he beats Kivior. Just goes back to Szoboszlai. The two former Premier League men combining on Leipzig's right. I think this is Openda. No Xavi Simons today. As Kobel makes the save. Kivior's got to get there, doesn't. But we could be able to exploit RB Leipzig down the flanks. Particularly when they do commit players forward like they've done there with Rico Lewis. Adeyemi finds Brandt, finds Zabitzer with some space to shoot. Straight at the keeper, unfortunately. Comfortable save in the end. I feel like Zabitzer played for RB Leipzig as well, right? Or potentially I'm misremembering. I feel like Leipzig and Dortmund should be rivals too, but as far as I'm aware, they're not. I think potentially they feel like rivals just because they're both... Two of those teams kind of on the periphery. They're the second tier below Bayern Munich and arguably now Bayer Leverkusen. Alongside Borussia Dortmund. And they're both quite trendy teams too. And it feels like they should be rivals. Not overly familiar with the geography of Germany. I don't think they're local to each other by any means. It's Brandt. Finds Ryerson. Giovanni Reina just inside him. He has been instructed to take up a slightly narrower position, Giovanni Reina. Just couldn't quite hold on to the ball for long enough for Moukoko to join him in the attack. One disadvantage of playing these tiki-taka tactics, as how is that a foul, is that our striker has to be set to false 9. We have no other option. And whilst I think Moukoko can certainly grow into that role and it could end up really suiting him, it does mean that we are slightly light in attack, particularly when there's a quick turnover of possession. As RB Leipzig once more through Szoboszlai and Rico Lewis look to get in behind. Kivior cut it out initially, but Rico Lewis won the ball back somehow. And again, Reina can't find Moukoko. Szoboszlai can't let him shoot from range. Mecha tracks back to prevent it. And it's good feet on the edge of the box though from Baumgartner, I believe. And it's another save from Kobel. And this time we managed to work the ball clear. Leipzig pressing high though. Well cut out by Schlotterbeck, and we're just going to have to get rid. So already it's looking like we might need to change our tactics again. We've tweaked them slightly to accommodate the adjustments on the right-hand side. But I think we might need to tweak them again to accommodate the way that RB Leipzig is setting up. So they are pressing us high. They are looking to win the ball back as soon as they give it away in the final third. And they are looking to prevent us working the ball clear. They're looking to force us really to just clear the ball. To just lump it long. And give possession back to them. Rather than to be able to keep possession in our final third. And I think as a result, we will drop into our control tactics. So just looking to keep the ball a little bit more, especially when that possession turns over. Big cross from Szoboszlai. It just falls to Giovanni Reina though. But again, Leipzig pressing immediately, causing us real issues in our defensive third. But we could find Giovanni Reina on the right. But this is what I mean. There's just so few players up in support. Kivior just drops it in for Adeyemi. Adeyemi's our one player that really has pace today. I mean, Mokoko's no slouch. But ordinarily, we used to have in the likes of Jamie Gittins there as well. And that was a good run initially by Reina. But as so often is the case, he faked me out there as well as the defenders. Started making the run in behind. As soon as I shaped a pass to him, he stops in his tracks. Just stops dead. Well won, Zabitzer. And now we can keep the ball. Potentially look to draw Leipzig onto us. Adeyemi. Nothing ahead of him. Has to go back to Kivior. Mecha. Schlotterbeck finds Zabitzer. Can't find Rayner. Just very organised, very disciplined in their shape at the moment, RB Leipzig. Struggling to find ways to break them down, to be honest. And they are starting to really grow into this game. Baumgartner. Oh, it must have been Benjamin Šeško who had the ball before. I thought Baumgartner had the bleached hair. But that's Benjamin Šeško. Šeško and Openda up front for Leipzig today. Been relatively quiet through the opening 20 minutes or so. Whether or not we're going to be able to keep them quiet for the remaining 70 is yet to be seen. It's going to be a tall task though. And again, we cannot work the ball clear. Julian Brandt giving the ball away on this occasion. Absolutely relentless pressure from Leipzig and a really nicely worked move. As Ryerson can't cut it out and Zabitz has been drawn out of position. Anton thankfully there to support, as is Felix Mecha. And Anton eventually cuts it out. And Adeyemi will bring the ball clear. Just has to run at Leipzig. No other option. Literally no other option for him. But that's a great run from Rayner and a great ball in behind from Moukoko. And the keeper's just about going to get there. We do have Jamie Gittins on the bench. And I think we're probably going to have to bring him on before too long, because I think we're going to have to just try and play on the counter. Oh, I thought Moukoko was going to get in there. I think we're going to have to play on the counter today, based on the way that RB Leipzig have absolutely controlled these opening 35 minutes. Kivior can't win it back, and that's a great cross. Thankfully, Anton is able to cover the ground and get back in clear. Adeyemi. Zabitzer. Giovanni Rayner. Ryerson. Rayner once again. And he'll find Julian Brandt taking up a nice position. Beats his man. Slips it through for Moukoko. And again, oh, the keeper doesn't get there this time. Moukoko actually slides in and beats the keeper to the ball. Can only thrust out a sliding foot though. And just knocks the ball against the body of the sprawling goalkeeper. It's a dangerous challenge by both Moukoko and the keeper as Openda is in space and he opens the score for Leipzig. It's been coming. It's been coming, to be fair. Really intelligent position taken up by Openda. And he was found well. Not sure who it was with the assist. But just picked up that little pocket of space, and it's a clinical finish as well. That little pocket of space, and it's Szoboszlai. Little pocket of space between Anton and Schlotterbeck. Perfectly timed run too. And Leipzig, you have to say, have a deserved one-goal lead. And with only a handful of minutes left on the clock until half-time, it does look as though they are going to be leading at the break. Changes after the break are going to be coming for sure. I thought the way we set up might work well against Leipzig, especially with those not lackluster players exactly on the right-hand side. That's probably a little bit harsh. But with those slower players on the right-hand side, I thought setting up to just control the ball, just deny Leipzig possession, would be the correct approach. But they've countered that perfectly. Coco. Oh, I've waited far too long. I didn't really see the opening to slip that ball in with Giovanni Rayner. But Leipzig just countered our tactics perfectly. They've pressed us high. They've denied us the opportunity to keep the ball in our defensive third and in our own half. But we could be in here. Moukoko, can he get the shot away? Just enough pace to get past the last defender and squeezes it in at the far post. And Leipzig won't be ahead at half-time after all. Completely undeserved, completely against the run of play. But we will certainly not complain. Roles reversed, very much so. Usually it's us that dominate the first half, but go in disappointed at half-time. Not on this occasion. Julian Brandt slips Moukoko in behind. Just enough pace and strength and determination to force his way past, I think it's Sven Botman. And then the composure and the precision to fire past Galashi. And Seiveld is going to pick up a yellow card just before halftime here as well. I think that was for the challenge in that turnover of possession, and with the last kick of the game, we equalise. Big, big goal. That is huge, because we are changing things at halftime. It's going to look different when we come out for the second half. And if the scoreline was still 1-0, we would just be looking to change things to get back into the game and come away with a point. But with the scoreline 1-1, we could be looking to get ahead in this game instead and take away all 3. If you're enjoying the game and today's episode, please take a second to like the video. And if you want to see more realistic FC 25 content, be sure to subscribe, not just to catch the next episode of this series, but other realistic career modes, realistic rebuilds, slider updates that might be dropping in the future. And if you want to get ahead of the curve and see those kinds of videos before anybody else, consider becoming a 12th man member of the channel. Membership starts at just $1.99 a month and grants you exclusive early access to all new videos, with tier rewards scaling up from there and including the possibility of being featured in my career mode saves. Thank you to everyone who is already supporting the channel through their membership. It is genuinely very much appreciated and helps the channel to run. But now let's head back out for the second half. So 2 changes at halftime, as well as a slight tactical adjustment. Jamie Gittens comes on to replace Giovanni Reina, who really hasn't had the chance to prove himself today. It's just not been best position to succeed today by any means. As Makoko again could be in behind. Brandt can't quite find him. So Gittens comes on to replace Giovanni Reina, and Gittens will play on the left-hand side. Karim Adeyemi coming over to the right, where he's starting to become more familiar. That's starting to become his more familiar role here in Season 2. And then the other change is Pascal Gross coming on at right back, as Jamie Gittens looks to stretch RB Leipzig immediately. Makoko with a little step over. And it's a great save by the keeper. Little too close to him with the finish, Makoko. But it's a big save. Galashi just staying on his feet, not committing too early. Waiting to see where Makoko was going to try and put it. And then just managing to throw out a foot and make the stop. Shesko can't allow him inside so easily. And it's a shot from range, comfortable for Kobel. And we'll try and find Jamie Gittens here on the left-hand side to test Leipzig again with the additional pace now. And Julian Brandt just about gets there, forced off the ball though. So Pascal Gross, the other change, coming on at right back for Ryerson. And we have changed him to step up into a support role. So Adeyemi will be getting forward on the right-hand side. We won't be looking to overlap with Pascal Gross, but he'll be stepping up into midfield to try and link the play. And it's a great challenge. Put a stop to the RB Leipzig attack. Put it out for a corner. And David Raum was going to come on. He was a player I was looking at left back. A little too expensive. And probably a little too forward thinking. And we ended up going with Kivior, he's been fine. And I think that was all we expected of him, to be fair. It's a great challenge, Mecha. The Leipzig fans want a penalty. No idea why, because that was a perfectly timed challenge. And Makoko, how was that cut out? I thought Adeyemi had thread the needle perfectly there. But just about cut out by the Leipzig defender. And we have to drop in here, and we haven't, and we're exposed as a result. Schlotterbeck does well though, and it's a good block, and we can clear. Through Makoko and Jamie Gittens. On your bite. Oh, and we can't find Julian Brandt. He's very well won back by Felix and Mecha though. Looks like it's going to be a back and forth game in this second half. And I think we can probably slow the game down rather, when we get the opportunity. Because I fancy us to nick a goal. So if we can slow this game down and nick a goal at some point, I think we can come away with a 2-1 victory. Brandt, can he shake to shoot from range? Oh, what a challenge. What a challenge. Sliding in at the last minute. We beat him initially, the Leipzig defender. But what a recovery challenge that was. Just as Brandt was shaping to shoot from just inside the box. Unreal defending. Absolutely unreal defending. So half an hour remains here at Red Bull Arena. Third versus sixth. We could do with a win over Leipzig because I think they're going to be one of our primary competitors for a Champions League spot this season. I think Munich are all but locked for a Champions League place, obviously. They're all but locked for the title. No. Oh, and it's wide. I thought that was in. I was just waiting to see the net ripple. It never did. So well worked again by Leipzig in and around the penalty area. But it was the finish that was lacking. That's so poor. That's so poor. That's so poor from Jamie Gittens. Gittens has had a really disappointing season 2. He wasn't spectacular in season 1 either, and Julian Brandt has just gone down with an injury. You have Merlin Roll on the bench, but Brandt, one of our best players, we certainly don't want to lose him for any considerable length of time. We can do without him for a game or two, but Buzzko, beaten by Anton, finds Adeyemi, and we need to break. Moukoko makes the run. Adeyemi uses it as a diversion, cuts inside. Yeah, still no options. Just has to hold the ball. He does find Gittens eventually. Takes on Rico Lewis. Sets it back for Kivior and Julian Brandt, who has picked up that knock. He is going to shoot from range this time, though, straight at the keeper. And I think we're going to have to take Julian Brandt off next time we get the opportunity. And Moukoko steals it away. Doesn't manage to create an opportunity out of it, but does manage to force a corner. Leipzig going to bring Rico Lewis off for Klosterman. We'll make a change or two here as well. So another double change for Nuri Sahin and Borussia Dortmund. Moukoko to come off alongside the injured Julian Brandt. Merlin Roll to come on. And it is going to be Max Bayer to come on up front. We do have Guirassy on the bench. We are prioritising the pace of Max Bayer. Will it fall for Schlotterbeck? Not quite. We are prioritising the pace of Max Bayer rather than the... well, basically everything else in Serhou Guirassy. Whether that's the right decision or not, I'm not sure. But I think pace has been the way that we've managed to exploit RB Leipzig today when we have managed to exploit them. And I think hitting them on the counter-attack has to continue to be our approach here in the second half over the course of the remaining 20 minutes or so of the game. Jamie Gittens pulls it back for Bayer. It will fall. Takes it down, gets a shot away with his left, harmlessly wide. Gilagi comfortable as he watched it blaze past the post. Baumgartner finds Buzzko. Zavitzer drops in to defend, as does Bayer himself, to be fair. Pascal Gross one-on-one with Baumgartner, does a good job, and Zavitzer finds Adeyemi. And this is where that pace of Max Bayer could come in handy. And again, it's cut out perfectly. Just trying to squeeze it past the defender. And that's so well cut out by Anton. Bayer, can he win this? If he can, then Leipzig are in trouble. And he does win it. And Adeyemi collects. He's just going to have to fire across goal. Gilagi makes the save. It was always going to be comfortable from that narrow angle. I think it's the right decision from Adeyemi. Not too much else on there. It was Max Bayer who nodded the ball down to him on the halfway line, so he was not exactly up with the play. Not exactly an option to square it for Adeyemi. Could have tried to cut it inside and get a shot away on his left, but I like just asking the question of the keeper. Just test him. Buzzko, no, good block, and get it away. Very good block by Schlotterbeck. Adeyemi wins it this time, as does Merlin Röhrl. And it's a great challenge. And the referee agrees. And Röhrl, can't quite find Bayer. Openda. Looking to thread the ball through. Schlotterbeck and Anton. What a pairing at centre-back they've been. I thought we were going to revive Niklas. I've waited too long. Oh, but Gittins is onside. Max Bayer wasn't. Gittins certainly is. Röhrl. Lays it off for Zabitzer, who doesn't get there the first time. Does the second. Really poor. Just a little bit of miscommunication there in the crucial moment. But I thought we were going to revive Niklas Söder's career. I was slightly underwhelmed by Anton when I looked over his attributes at the beginning of the save, but he's been the perfect partner for Nico Schlotterbeck. Well cut out by Gross. Get rid! Takes so long. It takes so long to complete a second action when you intercept the ball. Whether you just pressing V to try and clear or X or A, it takes so long. Every time you intercept, the CPU's just able to nick in and steal the ball back. Oh my god. Schlotterbeck gets rid. CPU's always able to nick in and get the ball back. So your player just doesn't react for an age. Lucky to still be level here after that corner. An opportunity cleared off the line there. I'm not sure who by. Well cut out again by Schlotterbeck. Leipzig pressing for the winning goal here, as they have committed several players to the press. Gittins can't come away with it. And again, we give up possession in our own half. How many times? Great challenge, Kivior. Keeps it in play. Binds Gittins down the line. Who can't find Merlin Röhrl. That pass was awful. How was that pass so poor? Just needed a little 1-2 there. And Gittins can barely find Merlin Röhrl. Good defending again by Kivior. Beaten this time though. Felix Metscher isn't. And again we can't find Merlin Röhrl. We have to get out to him. Schlotterbeck with the block again. And they're going to win it late. They're going to win it late. Dominik Szoboszlai. Winning goal in the final moments for RB Leipzig. Absolutely unreal defending from Schlotterbeck, but we can't clear. And Leipzig are going to steal it. Oh, that's so frustrating. We had like 6 opportunities to work that ball clear. Just so sloppy. And it comes all the way back to Jamie Gittins failing to find Merlin Röhrl on a simple pass. Simple 5-yard pass inside, and he can't complete it. It's been so poor this season, Jamie Gittins. And the final kick of the game. We equalised with the final kick of the first half. Leipzig grabbed the winner with the last kick of the second half. Absolutely brutal way to lose. Unreal. Unreal. Would have been happy enough with a draw as well. Especially since, I mean, Leipzig, it's not like they don't deserve to win. They were the better team over the course of the 90 minutes, but thought we were going to hang on. Thought we were going to nick a goal at some point in that second half with all the pace up front. Gittins, Adeyemi, even Bayer at the end there. Absolutely brutal way to lose. We have one final opportunity to somewhat, I guess, rescue the episode with a home match in the Bundesliga against Darmstadt. And we do manage it, to be fair. 3-0. Julian Brandt just picked up a 5-day injury, so he was fit enough to start. Garassi opened the scoring in the first half. 2 goals from Julian Brandt in the second. Comfortable 3-0 victory. But it's still not a great month overall. Couple of wins in the Bundesliga. A couple of pretty convincing wins in the Bundesliga, to be fair, but over some pretty weak opposition in Freiburg and Darmstadt. We did progress in the DFB Pokal, but really disappointing losses against both Lazio and RB Leipzig. Sour the month for sure. And that does mean we remain 6 points behind Leipzig in third, only 2 points behind Wolfsburg who currently occupy that final Champions League spot in the Bundesliga. We do drop another place in the Bundesliga to 19th as well. I have looked at the format a little closer, though. It's my understanding that the top 16 teams just progress to the knockout stages. That's not the case. The top 8 progress, so down to Paris Saint-Germain at this moment in time. And then I believe it's 9 through 24 enter into a playoff round to determine who will then progress to the final 16. So as long as we get decent results, 3 at the very least, but preferably at least 4 points from our final 2 Champions League games, we should be good to at least make that playoff round. It seems like a good opportunity just before the halfway mark to take stock of how our players are doing this season as well. Moukoko continues to impress. He scored 9 goals in 10 appearances so far this season. 8 goals and 4 assists for Julian Brandt is also excellent. He has played twice as many games as Moukoko, though. 6 goals for LAMBZY is insane. I didn't expect quite a performance to come out of our left back, potentially our right back in Yan Couto, but 6 goals for LAMBZY. 6 goals and 2 assists for Guirassy. So Moukoko currently is on track to achieve his objective. He has more combined goals and assists than Guirassy. Actually, no, he doesn't have more combined goals and assists than Julian Brandt, who obviously already has 12. 4 and 1 for Bayer is good. 3 and 2 for Adeyemi. This is more what I was expecting from our right back. 3 goals and 4 assists. Couple of goals for Jamie Gittens, as well as 3 assists. 4 assists for Nico Schlotterbeck somehow. Not sure where those have come from. Victor Osimhen is far and away the top goal scorer in the Bundesliga at the moment with a massive 15. Harry Kane, Adam Plojek, Ben Seguir the closest to him on 10. Harry Kane has most assists though. 3 different Bayern Munich players have 5 assists. Kane, Guerrero, Ben Seguir, that is insane. And Kevin Trapp has the most clean sheets. Gregor Kobel not too far behind on 5. And we're seeing some decent progress from our youngsters who are currently out on loan. Everybody up to kind of a mid-60s in terms of their overall, with the exception of Louis Waters, who is actually up to a massive 71 overall at just 18 years of age. But that'll do it for this episode, and we will simply look ahead to the next one, which will bring not only the opening of the January transfer window, but a host of interesting fixtures. We're going to be taking on Bayern Munich, Wolfsburg, Leipzig once again in the Bundesliga, along with both Stuttgart and Hoffenheim. And we have our final 2 Champions League fixtures as well, taking on Young Boys and Athletic Bilbao. So make sure you get those suggestions in the comments below for players you think we should be targeting in January. Again, I'd be open to players at any position, players of any type. But I think in particular, we need to be looking for a wide midfielder and a centre-back. So I look forward to reading those suggestions ahead of the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.